Okay, now we're back to doing movie reviews. Now today I'm going to actually do a TV show review. I have done the first two Friday the 13th seasons, and now I'm going to do the final season. Surprisingly, I've gotten together for the first two seasons. Let's see, almost 100 views just in those two videos. So I'm going to do Friday 13th, the final season, which was season 3. So yeah, I've probably shown this cover before. Okay, so let's begin. The very first episode was called The Prophecies, which was a two-parter, and that was where Jack and Ryan and Mickey and Johnny were all in this episode, and it's where there's a possessed Lucifer's Bible that possesses Ryan to where he does harm to someone, and then one of the persons that has the Bible curses him to turn back into a young child. So that was the way of taking Ryan out of the TV show and adding Johnny to be kind of like a love interest to Mickey. And it's sad to see Ryan go, because he was, in my opinion, he was probably he actually was one of my favorite characters of the show. I mean, I did like Mickey, and I do enjoy Jack Marshak, but basically, that was how they ended it. And it was a pretty good episode too. Now the second episode was called Demon Hunter. Now there is each episode is supposedly has a cursed out object or some sort of something cursed. This episode is a little bit sidetracked a little bit, but it's not that bad. I mean, it's about these hunters that try to chase out this demon in a cavern and stuff. It was a pretty good episode. Then you have Crippled Inside, which was an antique cursed wheelchair, which a figure skater is crippled, and she gets into this, and it makes her body be able to stand up and move around and more so. But she has to take the people's lives in order to make herself stronger to be able to walk. Then the next episode was Stick It in Your Ear, which is about a haunted hearing aid. That was a pretty good one. Yeah, it's kind of like the ear would like pulsate and wrap, kind of like if later on you actually see something like that in Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. Bad Penny. That's where there's a cursed coin, Aziacles, that can bring back people from the grave. That was a pretty good, interesting episode, because that was an episode in the prior season that was not captured or taken because the place had fallen apart and it was covered up and they couldn't find it. And that's in that episode last season, Mickey had died and came back to life. Well, this way she's kind of really frightened about it coming back, and but they do capture it this time. Hate on Your Dial was about a possessed radio that would allow somebody who would play certain radio station, and it would go and take him back to the past and to see like how people were treated in the South, like African Americans and stuff were treated in that way. And that was a pretty interesting episode. I liked that one. Night Prey was kind of like a vampire story, and it's about an antique cross that allows people to repel, incinerate their prey. That was a pretty interesting episode. Then you have Femme Fatale, or however you want to say it. It's about an obsessed film director sacrifices innocent in order to bring one of his movie's greatest characters to life. It's where he has this like how would you say it, like he has like this like film projector kind of like thing, and he can bring his favorite character to life. And then it's not bad episode. And you have Mightier Than the Sword. It's about a serial killer, famous author of a serial killer, injects Mickey with a poison pen, and that's where Jack and Johnny have to carry out the writer's lethal text in order to save her. Not a bad episode. Year of the Monkey is about, how you have certain like you've seen on like TV shows or like movies where a monkey will cover its face or cover its eyes or cover its ears. That's kind of like the Year of the Monkey. It's about haunted monkey statues, which is where people use it. They can actually inherit a fortune. Pretty cool episode. Epitaph for a Lonely Soul. It's where Mortuary uses an embalmer's respirator to kill victim in order to resurrect a beautiful woman who recently died. Not a bad premise for the show, for that episode. Pretty good. Midnight Riders is about where Jack's father's ghost comes back to help with this motorcycle gang that who were falsely accused of rape. And Jack's dad shows up in that, which was pretty interesting to see someone other than love interest of Jack's. Repetition is about a possessed camo, where he speaks in the voice of a young girl he accidentally killed. Basically, it's where this guy, he has this camo, and this girl keeps coming back and haunting him. It's not that bad of an episode. The Long Road Home is where an evil yin-yang amulet, where these psychotic brothers use it to kill people, and then that's when Mickey and Johnny, actually start to kind of, you see a little love interest going on in there. Great episode. My Wife as a Dog is where a lonely guy who has this dog collar, and he has to, he uses the leash to merge his dog and his wife into making a companion. Interesting concept of an episode, but not bad. Spirit of Television, about a haunted television that kills their clients, and Spirit of Television is I've only watched it a couple episodes. It's not bad. I mean, actually, out of every episode, I would say probably the least of my favorites. And then following that was Jack in the Box, which actually stars a young Jill Hennison, who you may remember from Crossing Jordan. She plays in this episode. After a girl's father dies, she can summon his spirit with an antique Jack in the Box, and it does stuff. It returns the favor in deadly ways. So, and then you have the second to last episode, the Tree of Life. It's kind of like these druid priests that worship this, how would you say it, this is a fraternity clinic that takes these babies and gives it to this tree in order for them to be like powerful or to have certain powers and stuff like that. Okay episode. And then the final episode, which at the time was not going to be the final episode because this was the shortest season as far as episodes, because the other two prior seasons had 26 episodes. This is only 20 if you count the first episode as 2 episodes. The Charnel Pit. It's where Mickey finds herself at the mercy of one of the most devious masterminds of all time, the Marcus de Sade. And it's up to Jack and Johnny to retrieve her before she becomes a victim of his cruelty. The only thing I can say is it's not a very fitting end to the series. I wish it had went on at least a couple more seasons. And if I was going to direct the series or produce it or whatever, I would actually end up in the 5th season and have them catch the final antique, and then, you know, that would be the end of the show. And then somehow in the 4th into the 5th, Ryan actually is able, they are able to find they have to use a cursed antique to bring Ryan back to his normal self that he was prior in this season. And, you know, that way all 4 of them, and I would actually probably kill off the Johnny character. I mean, I didn't have any personal reasons not to like Johnny, but Ryan was actually a better character in my opinion. And, you know, and then it ends up with just Mickey, Ryan, and Jack surviving at the end. That's how I would end it. But so that concludes the Friday the 13th, the series, all 3 seasons. I hope you enjoyed this video. The next two videos I've got is 2 horror movie reviews, and I do have some great TV shows, other TV shows I'd like to review. I will show you an upcoming video probably after I do these 2 movie reviews. I will show you a short video of some TV shows that I will be reviewing, since I'm getting such a high viewer rate for the first 3 Friday 13th. I figured I'd do a couple more TV shows in kind of like the horror vein as like the Friday 13th series. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give this a thumbs up, and I will catch you on the next one.